Hey,
Yo.
people.
What's up, guys?
It's Leo and Danny Show 15.
15, baby. That's a lot.
That's a special number, 15.
It is.
That's more significant to me than, I don't know, 25, 30. It's going to feel better than 50, 100. 15 is the one you got to shoot for.
15 is great, man. That's the number of collegiate home runs that I hit.
Pussy.
Really, fuck off.
You saw me in the batting cage this weekend, and
motherfucker.
so will the people.
You know, it was impressive. I'm not gonna lie. What are you gonna put? Are you hitting like you're just gonna put yourself smashing baseballs for no apparent reason?
We went to a batting cage this weekend, and I took a ball in the back for one of our bits.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leo, I might turn my channel into a baseball channel.
That's
And
not-
get
go
ready,
for it.
you too.
You know what? Fuck off.
It'll be
dude.
a
You know
solo
what?
baseball channel.
I
Me
will
at
start
batting
my own
cages.
baseball channel and fuck your baseball channel in the ass. You know why? Because it's every bird. You know what? You're a fucking blind squirrel that found a nut at that batting cage.
What does that mean?
That
I made contact with every ball
That
for
means
20
that
in a row.
You had fucking beginner's luck for a while, all right?
For
Fuck
20
off.
straight swings?
No, just kidding. You know what? The lesson showed, man. You had it. It was nice. It was the 50-mile-an-hour cage.
I took batting lessons when I was a kid for one
It
season
was the
of winter ball.
50-mile-an-hour cage, but
Hey,
that's okay. It
I
was
was-
really impressive. I was impressed. A lot of people would have been impressed. That was nice.
Hey, did you have flashbacks of the great DiMaggio in there? Is that what I
you know
look
what?
like?
Honestly, you had great. You had great hand-eye. You had a good fast twitch muscle. You were using a solid, big bat, 34, 30 ounce.
I'm an athlete. That's the
No,
end of the story.
34, 29 ounce. Not bad. No, wait, it was a 34.
Nobody cares.
31 ounce.
I don't think anybody here
some
cares.
There's a lot of baseball players follow the channel, man.
quit
In the
watching.
comments, if you watch baseball, you comment.
Quit watching. I don't want any baseball players
The
watching
fuck?
my
They're the most
shit.
intelligent. They're the biggest ladies' men in
Gay.
the history of any athletes.
All homosexuals.
They're fucking the mans.
They're fucking men?
No, I said they're the fucking mans.
Hey, can I say something right now?
Derek Jeter. What?
I'm going to ignore that. So today, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, Leo. I know you have. I absolutely know you felt this way.
Okay.
Today was the closest I've come in years to throwing up my hands, getting in my car, leaving Los Angeles, and
God.
moving back in with my parents, working at a pizza parlor, and just calling it quits on life.
Really?
You-
Today?
You ever feel like that? Like,
I mean, constantly. Not moving back with my parents, but moving to the beach in Hawaii in a tent. I want to live in a tent in Hawaii.
that's an option. So the way I look at it, suicide is the number one cop
Yeah.
out. That's the flagship cop out.
Complete cop out.
That's the Mercedes-Benz of cop outs.
Right.
The next one after that, moving back in with your parents.
right. If you have a good relationship with your parents, but
If you have a good
don't-
relationship or whatever, doing whatever you need to do to mend that bridge.
right?
Working at a pizza parlor, and then when they die, collecting the whatever $100,000 they leave you in the will,
Sure.
and then just killing yourself when that runs out. That's the second
Right.
biggest. I
Right.
guess going to Hawaii and living in a
Living in
van or a tent. That's
tent.
number
van
3.
or tent. Yeah, it would be nice.
I was thinking hard about cop out number 2 today
Why, man?
because we went drinking after we filmed the video in Santa Barbara this weekend. We'll get into it more. It was an eventful shoot. Afterwards, I got hammered drunk with a girl I've been seeing up there. Brought Fan Jerry and Nico with me. My 2-day hangover was going strong. Don't feel good, even though I got a nice 8 hours of sleep last night.
Yeah. So it's is it the old fake depressed, as I call it, from the alcohol?
I think so.
It's the fake depressed, I call it. Yeah.
It is I know it's the fake depressed too because I tried to jerk off today and I hated jerking off.
What?
And that's how you know it's an issue.
Like you masturbated, you reach climax and then you feel bad about yourself. You're like, this is what it's come to. What was it?
It's one of those days where you fucking look outside and in your head it's cloudy even though the sun is shining bright.
It was a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I think what you said is true, the fake depression.
fake
because
depressed.
I hated everything today. It wasn't just as if like going to the supermarket and having to move my car for the street sweeper sucked. Everything sucked today.
Man.
Including editing video, including writing comedy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean the jerking off part, that blew
It's
too.
the alcohol, dude. That's all it is. I literally I've come to this conclusion. I call it fake depressed, man. Whenever you have you drink heavily for some reason, I think it's a chemical reaction, I'm sure, but I'm sure there's some fucking kind of there's some science behind it, but you feel depressed and it's not real. And you just got to put one foot in front of the other and realize this life's a gift, man.
And you know what else contributed to it?
What?
Is I was high yesterday in my bed. I was between watching football games with producer Ben over there.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do on Sundays. I try to take a day off. And that's probably was adding to the stress, too. I take one day off a week, Sunday, And what was I doing yesterday? I was driving home from a shoot on my day off with Fan Jerry and Nico. Didn't get home until about 1 p.m. And then I have from 1 p.m. until when I fall asleep as my true day off. Wake up this morning and do it all over again. The whole week starts over. Planning for next week's shoot, doing all the editing. So it's stressful. But I got on I got on my YouTube channel the other day, yesterday. I got a little curious. I clicked the bell, the notifications. I read the first 3 comments. 3 motherfuckers talking shit in a row. It was like Orion's belt. Shit talker, shit talker, shit talker.
On our last shoot?
No, it was it was about the Arizona video.
They talk shit. What'd they say?
Well, see, it's pretty rare that 3 dudes would talk shit in unison like that because people are usually such big fans of our videos.
Yeah, it's weird,
for
sure.
But I was high, and I didn't like it one bit either,
I don't
Leo.
like it, yeah.
And you and I have talked about this before. The fan base of my channel and of the shit we do and the podcast channel, it's rabid. Yeah. And that's been proven by the couple videos that have been put up by those weasels trying to slam our channel.
Right.
And how negative the feedback from my audience is.
Yeah.
It's like a wounded tuna swimming through Shark Alley somewhere off the coast of Northern California. Like,
that's
just
right.
You look in the dislike ratio is solid gray. The entire bar is solid gray when people try to hate on us. But with anything in life, not just YouTube channels, our YouTube channel for sure, because it's so masculine.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever there's masculine energy, there's a lot of negativity.
Yes. It's going to grow the bigger we get, too. I know for a fact.
For sure. Yeah, like our channel, it's a bunch of dudes. A lot of them just 16-year-olds with permanent boners.
Yep.
And then frat dudes, and then dudes who work in tire shops or fucking auto workers. It's the same fan base as like the UFC or the NFL.
Right.
Where I can't think of a more negative fan base than either of those. And what do they have in common? Lots of testosterone.
Lots of testosterone. Mitch's West Coast I believe he's the West Coast manager for his entire shipping company, is a fan of the channel and found him on the movie video, the movie one.
So what are they?
The West Coast. It's the West. The director of operations for the West Coast of Daylight, which is a like an Old Dominion kind of. They have semis. They
what
ship
about
stuff.
The Grunts? Did the Grunts like the channel?
I don't know. All I know is that the fucking big man sent an email to Mitch. Or send an email to somebody else who then sent an email to Mitch saying, "Hey man, is this you at 8 whatever in the movie video?"
How old is this guy? The bigwig.
45, 50.
See, I'm curious about that, and now I'm going to get back to praising the audience. Fuck those 3 guys.
Fuck the 3 guys, man. I'm going to find you too, guys.
Leo's going to find you
guys. You know what? And we're going to find all the haters of our channel somewhere,
I think
somehow, and we're going to fucking get you
Producer
guys.
Ben was saying he was one of them. Producer Ben.
We're going to go into your office, your fucking school, wherever the fuck you are.
Hey.
We're going to give you a tongue lashing for the ages. You're never going to fucking rebound from it.
But please, if you guys are watching this right now and you're over 40, leave a comment.
Yeah, if you're over 40, leave a comment.
Because I look at my analytics, and a huge portion of the audience is 40 to 50 and 50 to 60. It's a really big number. Maybe it's more there than 13 through 14-year-olds. It's more 40-year-olds and more 50-year-olds.
Yeah, maybe it's because we have a lot of pain in our heart, and that transfers over to the older crowd well,
Wait, Producer Ben, he's shaking his head like he's skeptical, as if he's fucking seen the analytics, as if the YouTube analytics are just lying.
Have you seen the fucking analytics, dude?
And we can't talk. He's off mic. It'll be shitty.
Damn it.
What do you think? The fucking YouTube analytics, like the algorithm takes a drag off a fucking joint and is just brain scrambled, throwing out data randomly. It's real shit, dude. They've got scientists on that over there.
They do. You have to, in order to, there might be a lot of people lying about their age because you can't really see a lot of stuff if you're under 18.
That's true. People mention that. So and I'm glad they do that because a decent amount of my videos are age restricted, but there are also absolutely 40 and 50-year-olds.
I'm 55 on Bumble for no reason, just to see if any girl will fall for it.
Why? Is that worked out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm not even on Bumble. Dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't you happily taken in a relationship?
I am very, very. Yes, I'm back with my girlfriend now, guys. Fucking thank God. It was nice. I had to tell her that I'm gonna change my ways, but I am gonna change my ways.
Yeah. If you saw, we talked about it a little bit last week, and if you saw in the Arizona video, Leo, he was on the ropes with the lady.
Yeah.
We didn't know if it was going to end, if you were going to kill yourself, or what the fuck.
I felt like jumping off the bridge for sure at some point. It felt like that was the
Which
right
bridge?
thing to do. The one that we were talking to Fake Juan. We were talking shit to Fake Juan.
You probably would have lived.
Yeah, I would have probably lived.
You would probably would have lived in the Arizona video.
Yeah.
Not deep enough water, not high enough, even if you hit the rocks below. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You know a thing or two about jumping off things.
Yeah, the piece of video, I think it's only up on Patreon. I jump off a 60-foot cliff in front of Leo, and even he was impressed because he's a stuntman.
Yeah, I am a stuntman, dude. I'm impressed because I've jumped a 55-foot platform at Universal Studios. I jumped into water, and all the guys were like, "We're saying, hey man, you better pencil dive it real well because you could even hurt your hands, or you could like some people have pulled their shoulders out of their sockets from having their hands out like that, which is kind of nuts. And a guy hit his face on the water and knocked himself out. A dude broke his ribs from 55 feet. You were jumping 60.
Yeah,
and it was a legit 60. I saw it. It was shocking.
So Nico, of course, because Nico is overly confident, our cameraman, about absolutely everything in his life. Yeah, I got to tell you this later. He told me his business plan for a rosé called Brose. Oh
yeah.
And I told
him I'd fund it. Dude,
it's the worst idea I've ever heard. If you want to light your money on fire, that's a better use of the funds. But
I told him I'd fund it for them.
But yeah, that cliff at Lake Natoma, it's a 60-foot drop, and it's a good amount of horizontal clearance you need too. You need to clear a gap. If I were a stuntman and I did that on video, what would I get paid for that?
All right, depends on, it's negotiable, but I would say on average for that jump on a day on set, how many times would you have done it? Let's say to get the shot, they probably I would say on the low side, I would say you'd have to do it 10 times to get the shot.
Okay.
So
what would I be looking at?
Okay, so you got your day rate, $1,100. They probably would have made you wait all day to hang around, so you'd probably be in overtime, which is $200, $250 per hour overtime. So I'd say your day rate plus like a couple hours overtime, you'd already be at like about $2,000 or like $1,500, $1,600. And then for each jump, they'd prorate it. You'd probably $250 per jump, so you'd probably end up making
what the fuck, dude?
An extra $2,500.
So
give
me a flat number. I should have asked for a flat number off the start.
I'm thinking about it. You would make like $3,000 to $5,000,
dude,
depending on how good your stunt coordinator is in negotiating.
And I've probably jumped that thing about 100 to 200 times in my life.
Yeah.
So you're telling me right now I've left tens of thousands, if not $100,000 on the table?
You would be a phenomenal stuntman. Reason being is you're thin. You're on the thin side, so you could double for
nice cock too.
You got a nice cock too. You could double for almost any of the just tall. You could be a double for like what's the guy in The Office, Kravinsky. You could be a double for any 6'4" guy, any one of them, because they could add weight to you if they want you to be a little thicker. But being thin's the key. You also have fight experience. You probably don't give a fuck about getting lit on fire because you're fucking nuts.
In fact, I enjoy it.
Yeah, and you can do high falls. So you'd be fucking set, dude.
It's crazy we did that for so many years as kids, from 14 on in freshman year, and we thought nothing of it. And when I bring other friends from the real world back to those cliffs, they look at me like I'm insane.
Dude, I said literally I would never do this for free.
And then Nico, too. Because, again, that's where I was saying earlier. Nico is overly confident about absolutely everything. And, of course, he was talking shit. Oh, I'm going to backflip it, dude. I'm going to fucking gainer 1.5 this bitch. He gets there, and he shuts his mouth, and he starts shaking. It's a terrifying cliff. But
terrifying.
We used to jump those back, and that was my currency for pussy before I had any other kind of currency.
So you'd jump that thing and have no fear in your eyes, and the woman would look at you and want to suck your cock?
It wasn't even she would want to suck my cock. It was more straightforward than that. One time I brought a girl there on a date. I took her to Denny's first. I got her a cheeseburger. Wow. We took her there. I told her, I was like, if I front flip off this, will you show me your boobs? Wow. And it wasn't that wall. It was a lower tree. But she said yes, and I front flipped off it, and she showed me her tits.
Wow, what a fucking score.
That's how dating worked before I ever got laid.
What if you would have just asked her to show you your tits without doing anything?
I didn't have the confidence to do that.
Nice.
The front flip was my crutch.
You were a thin man, and that was why you didn't have confidence?
What the fuck, Leo?
You were really thin as a young man.
Why does everything got to come back to the physical?
I'm asking you. You're the one that always talks about your physical your cock being like not what you want it to be. Your fucking... Everything is always about your physical. It's really mainly about your cock at this point. Your balls. You don't like your balls, man.
I wish I could shrink my balls. They're too big.
You know what, man? Your balls are fine. Listen, I think that she would have showed you her tits. I just wanted to tell you that.
I appreciate your faith in me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
the Denny's banana split would have been the move, though, man. The banana split at Denny's, I dream about that. It's phenomenal. If anybody,
what does that
like the banana split at Denny's? Comment.
What does that have to do? What does that have to do with anything? I don't get it.
I don't know. You mentioned Denny's, man. You got our cheeseburger at Denny's.
I got you. That you think that would have got me maybe a hand job if I got under the Sunday.
If you would have gotten the banana split, dude, you're getting a hand job.
That's the problem with coming from a good family. My parents are still together, and they're really sweet people. You got no game in high school if you come from a stable household.
I didn't have game in high. Well, I had two sisters that helped out. I think
your dad. We've already talked about this. Was
he
pausing movies and explaining what just played out with the dame in the scene and how the guy was able to seduce her.
True.
My daddy wasn't doing that. No. Papa Gary Mullen was. I don't even know what. I think he's taken me to church or to like fucking baseball.
How did you learn how to talk to a woman? It was a trial and error at the beginning.
Complete trial and error.
Which is great. That's all you really need.
I didn't lose my virginity until my senior year of high school, and I almost came instantly, and I kept having to make excuses about having to go pee in order to let the sensation recede. Yeah. But yeah, the kids who are getting laid, and first of all, that's at the absolute pinnacle of their life. The kid who's getting his dick sucked behind the baseball backstop in middle school, he ain't going no further than that.
No, it sucks, but yeah, and if you're doing really well with the ladies in middle school, you're completely fucked.
You're because you probably got abused sexually by an uncle, and that's why you're acting out sexually at such a young age, and you're hooking up with girls who got abused by their stepfather.
Probably, yeah.
And then the two of you, everything's all fine and dandy until she gets pregnant sophomore year.
Yeah, and then your life completely tumbles to the floor, and you're probably going to be working at, I don't know, where would this guy work? Where would the middle school baller be working?
The middle school, for me, the middle school ballers, the guys who were getting pussy in middle school, were also the middle school drug dealers.
Yeah.
And most of them, it was 50,
skaters, a lot of them were skaters.
A lot of them skaters, but it was 50-50 if they graduated middle school or went to juvenile hall.
Right.
I think, Leo, we're being optimistic if we assume they're even alive at this point.
You're right. They're probably more than likely dead.
There was a kid, Duran, at our school who he stole my iPod, so I don't feel bad about talking about his death here on camera. Yeah. But he would go to fights. He would go to parties, rather.
Fuck that guy, dude.
And alternately just fight anybody who looked at him at a party. We caught him once rifling through the jewelry drawer at my buddy's house. His parents' drawers looking for jewelry.
Wow.
He stole an iPod from my parents' car that night, but everybody was afraid of him, so nobody would say anything. We would just...
Is he big?
He wasn't big, but he had nothing to lose and got in street fights all the time. And he would fight at the drop of a hat.
Nothing to lose is the worst. Yeah.
That he got pursued by another vehicle, and the guy was shooting at him through his own windshield. A guy was following the kid who died, shooting at him, just out like Grand Theft Auto style, just a fucking straight-on drive-by. Shot him in the back. He fucking veered off the road and died about a mile from our high school. Wow. And that was maybe 5-6 years ago. So that's where you end up when you're the kid getting a lot of pussy in middle school.
I'd say if you really change your life, you get a lot of pussy in middle school, you really change your life, I think you can maybe be like a barista at Starbucks.
That's a big step up, man.
Yeah. Well, they don't drug test. You could maybe get
they get health insurance, though.
You get health insurance. Yeah, it's not bad.
Let's 1 second, Ben. Let's talk about the kids who get pussy in high school, because I think they also have a similar decline.
I was a guy that I started being better with women and attractive to women in high school, but I wasn't a guy. I was sheltered. I wasn't allowed to have sleepovers. I wasn't allowed to go parties, so I really couldn't get a lot of pussy besides getting blown behind a bungalow at Grant High School or the bleachers, which is the only pussy that I would get.
When's the first blowjob you get?
I was 15.
I think mine was 15 too.
In the stairwell.
I think mine was 15. Yeah,
at Grant High School. Yeah,
Grant
in the stairwell.
So you were a sophomore at that point.
Yeah.
How'd you seduce this woman into a blowjob?
Through notes. We would write notes, because I didn't have a cell phone, so I would write notes back and forth. We'd pass.
I did that in class too.
Yeah, it was the best thing ever.
In retrospect, I would hate with all of my body a kid who was passing a note back and forth to a girl all class.
Yeah, so that was me. In every class, I would have a girl that I would be passing notes with.
I did it too once, and I felt like a piece of shit. I still feel like a piece of shit for it.
I would try to sit next to a girl and usually convince her to touch my cock or something. I would
Classy.
I'd ask her,
as a sophomore you were doing that?
Yeah, man, I was pretty.
Leo, you shaped up surprisingly well.
Yeah.
Because most of the kids who were getting their cocks touched, this is what I was talking about. Yeah. We're trying to figure out where they go. Yeah. Most of them, the kids who were hooking up and getting pussy, the homecoming king, the fucking the kids who won those dance titles, other than, because I was the prom king, everybody knows.
What?
Yeah, that's the fucking I Ruined My High School Reunion video.
You were really the prom king?
I was the prom king because all of the actual cool kids who were on the football team, they were already phased out because they'd won too many dance competitions for royalty, so they weren't eligible anymore. Wow. And by the time junior year rolled around, I was the only guy who went to parties and got drunk who was eligible.
So you won.
So I won prom king, which is the most marketable of all. Slow and
cool.
steady wins the race, kids. You can be prom king too.
Fucking Danny Mullen was the prom king. I don't like that. I wish I would have never known.
How you didn't see the fucking I ruined my high school
I
reunion
did,
video?
but I don't know why I didn't catch that.
I was wearing my prom
that was a
sash
joke.
and the picture of me as the royalty on my chest.
I thought that was like in jest.
Like Flava Flav's timepiece.
I thought that was in jest.
No, I was
Fuck.
the champion.
Fucking prom king, and then you moved out to L.A. You know how many fucking prom kings moved to L.A., dude?
But I was still out here swinging.
Fucking yeah, you are.
I'm
And
still
you've
out
gone
here.
through a lot. You were sexually assaulted and molested in San Francisco and all kinds of weird
What
shit
is that in
Vegas.
reference to?
I feel like you're definitely the manager of your fucking restaurant did something to you, man.
No, I hated that guy. I fucking hated him. But all the kids who won those dance royalty competitions before me, the homecoming king, they all went to state schools, got fat, and now work at Enterprise rental car or cookie shops in Sacramento, California.
I interviewed for Enterprise Rent a Car. One of my worst interviews of all time. I forgot to lie and say that I've worked a full-time job before. They were like, "Have you worked a full-time job before?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "Oh, you've never worked a full-time job?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, thank you for your time today." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know if I got that one."
Worst interview I've ever had? Oh, I can't think of that on the spot.
Every other interview I've ever gone into, I've gotten the job. Even though I didn't have great interviews every time, but I got the job probably because I don't know, I was amiable and I looked like I wanted to make money. I know how to do a sales job interview well.
People say where I've seen white privilege the most manifest is in job interviews.
100%. They will hire you just because you're white, man.
And also being a tall white guy. And whenever I used to interview for jobs, I always had a nice, expensive haircut.
Yeah,
if you come in a collared shirt and you're a tall, well-spoken white guy,
you're good.
They just assume you're competent.
Yeah, they assume you're competent. 100%, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know shit about most of the things I was talking about.
But then again, I mean, if you're a tall, well-spoken black guy, they're going to fucking want to suck your dick to get you on staff,
that's
too.
true. If you're a tall, well-spoken black guy, 100%. The ones that they miss out on are like the short, like Latinos who are like out of shape that
just grind and work harder than anybody on the planet.
Anybody on the planet, and they could fucking kill it at any job.
I think verbal skills is what we're saying is the key. If you can communicate effectively and complete full sentences, a restaurant job that makes good money and tips, you're going to get it because you're going to be able to charm the guests as you should. A sales job, absolutely. Because if some kid starts speaking in Ebonics, white, black, or Mexican, when you pick up the phone and he's trying to sell you something, I'm going to assume that this company is completely fraudulent and I'm going to hang up the phone.
Yes. So they hired you. You just did a job interview like less than a year ago.
Yeah.
For that the company that I would call you and convince you to try to leave all the time.
Dude, there's something to be said for having a job. I've been thinking about that, going and getting a job at a cement factory down the street. There's a lot of industry around here in Culver City.
1 day a week.
A 1 day a week job. I miss having a job, man.
I agree with you 100%. That's why, I miss working that stunt show. I miss a job, man, for the perks of just talking to humans, you know?
Talking to humans is
Interacting
great.
with humans.
It's great comedy practice, and you're getting paid for it. One of the things I love about it so much, though, is today I have the fake depression. We're deciding on calling it, where YouTube sounds like I look negatively on my YouTube career, on podcasting, on comedy. When you have a job, psychologically, there's that barrier where if everything else falls away, you get banned from YouTube, you get your Instagram, your Twitter deleted. At least you still have a job and you're making money and you can pay the rent.
100%.
That's nice to fucking have.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a layer of armor around your character in a video game that wouldn't be there otherwise. That's like the body armor cheat in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Because right now, when I only have you, having this podcast is sweet. Having another, and then like now that I'm doing improv, that's another little layer.
Improv is great for you, yeah.
But when I was just doing YouTube, I felt insecure about everything. My video gets 5,000 less views than it got last week. I'm on the verge of jumping off a cliff. Where are you going, Ben? What are you doing, Producer Ben? Producer Ben's resetting the camera. I'm using my piece of shit Canon still. That it only takes 30-minute video clips.
It's not a piece of shit, though. It gets a good shot.
It's Old Faithful. The first video we filmed on this thing was the kissing fast food workers video when I was still in Sacramento.
A lot of people love that video.
A lot of people, at 2.4 million to be precise.
Love it. What's the like to dislike ratio on that bad boy?
All those videos where I'm just making out with chicks, because mostly kids in Singapore and the Philippines are clicking on those, or India who just see tongue and will want to see what happens.
Yeah.
So, very little engagement, a lot of dislikes.
Nice.
And they weren't that funny of videos. That was before the whole comedy thing was too honed.
But it kind of helped. Did it bring some traffic to your channel?
Yeah, totally. People who are just starting out on YouTube, they have to. I don't know how you could gain a following without getting out there and doing stupid shit like that to draw in the masses.
It's not easy, man.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Yep.
Dude, fucking. And we were saying this on the way up to Santa Barbara. For the amount of work I've put into the YouTube channel, the amount of work you've put into it, the amount of work we've all put into it, I feel like it should be 3 times bigger than it is.
Look, man, I agree. And maybe we have to do something. We have to sell out for one thing. Maybe we should do the Danny Mullen Gold Digger video.
We've talked about this. I want to do the Danny Mullen Gold Digger video, or we rent the supercar.
I think we're going to be able to get a Ferrari.
For Saturday?
I talked to him. And I don't know about for Saturday. By the way, we might want to shoot Friday because I have to move out Saturday. So I can't shoot Saturday. I have to literally move all my shit out with Mitch.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll
so
figure
either
it out.
Friday or Sunday.
Sunday might work.
Sunday might work. Might miss some football. But, dude, Rumon's working on getting it as soon as possible, yes.
So a Gold Digger prank would be sweet if we just drove around in a supercar legitimately picking up girls. So there's no prank. It's just a vlog of us actually picking up gold diggers with a supercar.
Right.
That's how Danny Mullen would do a Gold Digger video.
Yeah, hell yeah. And it would still it'd be the clickbait of the Gold Digger video, and it'd be really great content, and it would maybe drive a lot of people to your channel.
Yeah,
right?
it drives me nuts. I've seen other channels. I know they exist. I've watched them grow where they have 20 videos and they have 1 million subscribers off 20 videos.
Yeah, I know.
A couple like Jack Manley in Austin, Texas is an example.
Dude, I watched one of his videos. What the fuck?
Oh,
man?
Leo, it's Jack Manley. Got something to say to him, huh?
No, I think it's great, but I mean, he didn't put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, I'll concur big time.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean that's all I'm saying.
I think
he's a personable guy, and I think he's nice he's watchable.
Yeah.
as I like to say. But he didn't fucking do Worst Town in America, dude.
Yeah, it's guys like him. There's another guy, Philip Solo TV, who a couple people have commented about in my comments. So I looked up. Same thing, 5-6 videos, hundreds of like 300,000, 400,000 views per video.
It's not always involving women, is it?
No, that one, the Philip Solo TV guy, not at all.
What does he do?
Just kind of quirky shit. He goes and eats at shitty restaurants and does a little vlog about it. I haven't watched much of his content, so I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the hours I put in and the hours you come in and put in too, and the amount of time and resources you contribute. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm working at a fucking law firm. Because
you're working at a law firm for sure, and I have I put in my time, and I throw some producing money into it.
Yeah, producing money.
But it's like a really fun hobby to me. At the end of the day, it's like I'm looking at something I'm proud of.
Yeah,
so I don't really mind.
Yeah,
in that way, but yeah, man, I think it's completely okay. If this was bothering you today, if you were thinking about that and it was bothering you today, I'm going to tell you something that I think that the lasting successful guys always start kind of the way we start.
Yeah.
The ones that last a long time being successful, it's never a sharp turn to the top. Everybody who has a sharp jackknife to the top where they get all that, they're not ready when it comes. When you get to 1 million subscribers, you're going to know how to fucking deal with all them. And you're going to know how to keep them and how to make them enjoy your videos enough for them to want to buy your merch and be a part of you for a long time going forward.
You're right,
and that's why I truly believe that everything that I do for the channel is great, and I don't mind the long term, waiting a few years for this to really pop off. And I don't think it's gonna even take a few years, man. I'm thinking in the next couple of years, I think something's gonna really change, in a sharp, steep climb for us. So I'm not worried about it.
People ask me to shout out their channels or to do this and that to give them traction. I don't think they realize that me shouting out anything is no good unless they're putting in the insane hours that I'm putting in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, I was featured in 2 Nelk videos that got 3 million views. And if I took a month or 2 months off right now and came back, the channel would be on shaky legs. It would be it would not be in good shape. And the amount of work I've put in since those Nelk things, and I'm still making a very minimum living off YouTube. A big shout out doesn't do it. You have to fight for every yard out there.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep grinding, man. And you're never gonna. I don't think you're ever gonna know what video is gonna change everything. But I think there's going to be one video that's going to change everything. And then all the work that you did, everybody's going to tune in and watch all your videos on the playlist and be like, God damn, this is a follow that I need to.
Yeah.
This guy he's steady. And every week I'm going to have something to forget my problems with, which it looks, a lot of the kids that write me, they have problems. And they tell us that, we make them feel better about life. And that's the goal, I think. That's a beautiful thing that happens with our channel. And I think going forward, people are going to look forward so much to your videos every Thursday.
We're getting too sentimental here.
This is pissing me off, man.
Yeah.
People love when you get sentimental, man.
No, this is sentimental about a YouTube
If you
channel.
like when Danny gets sentimental, comment. I hope there's so many different comments. This video, I've asked for so much random shit.
Yeah, I think people are going to forget what we're asking for. I want to hear from the 40 to 50-year-olds. If any of you guys
and if you like when Danny gets sentimental, I want to comment too.
Where do we go from here? I'm sorry. I really put the brakes on everything
by
stopping us.
It's okay. Don't be fake depressed anymore.
Okay.
How is improv going, dude?
Let's talk about the weekend in Santa Barbara. That's more interesting than the improv class.
I don't know. Is it?
I think so.
All right.
We should talk. We should give people a little heads up about what they're going to see.
Honestly, it was some of the funniest shit that I've seen in my own mind. Like it was just so fucking funny. Like while we were there, I don't know if that transfers over to film as much as it does, but I belly laughed so much.
Well, we stirred up the most intense hornet's nest that I've stirred up since the high school reunion video.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a hotter LZ since that. And it's funny because Ben recently told me how he describes what we do to friends. Ben, can you say that in the mic, how you would summarize the Danny Mullen YouTube channel? Because it perfectly played out like that this weekend. Or just you can just say it in the mic there. What?
All right, well, this is so. Of course, people ask about what is the Danny Mullen podcast? What is Danny Mullen show?
What is it about?
Mullen channel, and I say that Danny has a crew of hooligans.
Yes.
They show up to a town, a city, a place. They wreak havoc, and then they leave.
So thank you, Ben. I appreciate that.
It's havoc, controlled havoc for us, but it's also funny. It's comedic havoc.
So, well, I hope they know that. I hope they find it funny. They're not just watching
for no
as a bunch of kids with autism, just like, what's
they
happening?
fucking hated my White Claw video. All right, so whatever. I didn't write it, but I put it on my channel. I put it on my Instagram. And your fans were really upset that it wasn't fucking Danny Mullen level. It was a skit. You know what?
You should have you should have denounced the White Claw video at the beginning of the podcast. It sounds like you were planning on that the whole time.
I have to denounce it?
Yeah, denounce it right now.
I'm not going to denounce it. My friend did it, and I like him, and he's a nice guy. And you know what?
Fuck that guy.
Me and Danny.
But so we got to Santa Barbara, and the first bit we did was we all had Me Too notebooks that had hashtag Me Too written on them huge. It was me, Leo, and Fan Jerry, Nico behind the camera. There's this street fair going on.
Yeah.
A bunch of hippie chicks in UC Santa Barbara, college girls, are selling T-shirts. A bunch of hipper dudes with long hair and hacky sacks. I guess in retrospect, they were all just straight rape jokes. And I didn't think. Yeah. I thought it was pretty lighthearted fun when I wrote them.
It was like, haha, is this guy? Would this be considered rape? Obviously not.
Yeah.
But they were like, you motherfucker.
So this is what the jokes were. It's Jim Norton is the one who gave me the idea.
Really?
He was looking at a bunch of pictures of the oil spill, the BP oil spill, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is horrible. All these seagulls are covered in oil." He's like, "No, they're stealing that oil and they're reselling it. Those lucky seagulls. Look at that tortoise. He's got an oil hat." And he was just putting a positive spin on all these horrible situations. Yeah. And I took that and applied it to rape.
Yeah.
So
they didn't transfer over to the women really well, except for like a few. Apparently, Fan Jerry saw one dying, laughing about. But yeah, I mean, look, it was a wild, reaction we got, which is cool.
Yeah. I guess you'll see the jokes, but I list scenarios that are clearly sexual assault and rape, and I ask if it's A, okay, or I ask if it's A, needs to be reported, or B, is totally fine. Yeah. And then whenever the girls would say, obviously that's A, that's sexual assault, I'd say, no, the answer is actually B, and here's why. And it'd be the most rape apologist, ridiculous excuses for rape anyone's ever seen. And
I like the signs, one the Libra and the fucking...
Yeah, one was about the entire football team raping a chick, and it was okay because the fullback was a Sagittarius and the girl was a Libra.
Perfect match.
Perfect match.
It was funny. I laughed. I mean, I don't know, man. It wasn't funny because to them at all for some reason. I guess we'll
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I thought about it more, I should have known it was not going to be funny to them. But it was not, it not being funny to them made for great content because Leo got punched in the back, I got kicked in the leg. We had women, probably 30 women were in on it, just flipping us off, filming us, heckling us, calling us pigs.
Yeah.
And it's the funny thing about social justice warriors is whenever you step over the little line and say something they don't like, all tactics are in play.
Yeah.
They were just, you're
assault.
fucking hideous. You're ugly. I hope you kill yourself. A girl walked up, was just throwing, she was punching us. She was hitting us.
She literally assaulted us, which is hilarious. I mean, it was awesome in many ways. I mean, look, I didn't get it, man. I don't know why one comment. I don't know how it spread like wildfire at the beginning like that. You said one joke to two women. Yeah. And it got so out of hand in about 5 minutes.
Well, one of the keys to my comedy is once you piss people off, stay around as long as possible. Yeah. Because that's where you really start to get juicy at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
And
how do you feel on the inside? Are you thinking the video then, or are you thinking like, are you enjoying that moment, or you're just trying to like shut down your adrenaline? Like, what are you doing?
That's a good question because
you're so good at it, and I mean, look, I'm there. If I wasn't with you, I would get out of there earlier. So if I'm with you, it's a lot easier to stay in it.
Yeah.
But I'm curious how you handle it.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is when you're in a situation where a bunch of women are screaming at you, calling you a piece of shit, telling you to leave, all of your human instincts want you to bow out and leave, or just to lose all composure and start fighting, start throwing punches.
Yeah. I usually want to say something back, or you never do that either. You don't do much of either.
No, I don't do. I never retaliate with ad hominem. I accused one guy of having sex with his dog, but I never resort to just like, oh, you have fucked up teeth. Yeah. See, I think the art form is trying to stay clear-headed enough to throw back interesting comedic rebuttals to whatever they say.
I mean, you do have a lot of practice with it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking stressful. It's like dealing with a heckler at a comedy club.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, and I've dealt with that. Yeah, mostly it's like drunk women. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, except for there are way more of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, the stakes are lower because if I say something unfunny, I can just cut it out of the video. Whereas if a heckler heckles you in front of a room full of people,
yeah, heckling is crazy. I've seen some guys have huge debacles up like just stay quiet like after a heckle.
Oh,
it's like really weird. I've seen some cringy shit like on stage.
If a heckler gains the upper hand, you're fucked.
You're really, really fucked.
Yeah, no, it's when there are 50 girls on the same page and just me, Leo, and Fan Jerry, obviously we're going to lose the exchange. Yeah. But you guys are, I mean, once you guys watch it, you're going to see we actually won the fucking exchange.
And they also didn't give a shit that you said it was a joke. Also, they really didn't care that it was even if it was just, okay, if it's a bad joke. But it's a fucking joke, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking saying this. It's not real. Don't you get that it's not real?
Yeah.
They really just did not understand that it wasn't based in reality at all.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You tell them it's a joke, and they tell you, but it's not funny. You're not funny.
Right.
And that begs the question, all right, bitch, who's your favorite comedian?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a professional comedian?
Why are you giving us that opinion? Your opinion doesn't matter in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, her favorite comedians: Dane Cook when she was in high school, Amy Schumer while she's in college. I'm sure those are her favorite comedians. Friends is her favorite comedic TV show.
Dude, Friends is terrible. Bro.
Yeah, it's unwatchable. Yeah, I've seen a couple scenes. Yeah,
I agree. Unwatchable. Seinfeld though.
Yeah, Seinfeld's great. Yeah. But that's who those girls think is funny.
Yeah.
And so it's always ironic when they say that to me, a professional comedian.
Yeah.
When they start telling me what is or is not funny. Yeah. But then after that, the shoot got way more lighthearted.
I'll be honest, man. I wouldn't have been able to do those jokes though. So, thankfully you did them because I would have not been able to get through them probably.
Yeah. And the reason I was able to do them is because I didn't think they were that offensive to start off with.
Yeah.
And then once I saw we'd fucking stirred up the hornet's nest, I was like, all right, we're milking this. Yeah. We ended up hanging around for like 10 solid minutes after everybody was telling us to kill ourselves.
Yeah.
But after that, a really fun bit we did. All of us smoked a joint together, a big fat fucking joint, got high out of our skulls. And then we all took a notepad and paper, wrote the first things that came to our head, 3 horrendous phrases down, ripped them up into separate slips, put them all in a hat, shook them all up, and then we drew one out. And once you drew one out, you had to read it and then go up to a random woman while high off your gourd and open the interaction with whatever was written on that slip of paper.
I lost it so many times during this bit, man. I feel like it does need to happen again. We can't just never do that again.
That was fun.
So funny.
Yeah. Going out and
great. I wanted to do it again. I wanted to do it because I need more reps. I forgot to ask the girl for the number. We need to ask for the girl a woman's number as well. But
I think I asked everybody's number.
You did, dude. Dude. I was dying. Yeah, man.
After I said stuff. Like Leo. The first one I picked out was I shoved a mason jar up my ass. I had to work with that.
We had to open the conversation with what we said. And the other one was I sucked dick for cocaine. That was my favorite.
Yeah, I had to use that to pick up a woman. And that's the idea that I got that from is like improv games that we do in class.
That is an improv game. I forgot about that one.
And that was so fun. After the getting booed, we basically had to leave Isla Vista and go. Isla Vista is the college part of Santa Barbara, and we had to go to downtown because there were cops looking for us after the whole rape joke incident. Yeah. Probably a lot of those girls called their friends, and they were looking out for us. We would have gotten somebody would have came at us with a hammer.
It looked like it was increasingly getting dangerous there, so we had to leave, man.
Yeah, but then it was all fun and games. We went down
I think
there.
it ended up working out perfectly, and then the Nico killed it again. Nico's really good in front of the camera recently, huh?
What was he doing that was good in front of the camera?
Well, when he interacted with the fucking guy on the beach for so long that it got us in there with him. We got to go in there, and then it was just ridiculous from that point on.
My favorite Nico moment is because Nico is famous amongst us in our crew for proposing the worst comedy ideas. That whoever you are watching right now, I don't care if you're a dishwasher at Marie Callender's. You can think up better comedic bits than Nico.
Yeah, man.
Well, he's had a couple successes.
Yes.
I think he encouraged us to go do the Trump star bit.
He did.
Which is
cool.
But he also has the lowest of the low ideas. One of them, he's like, dude, you should go up to a girl and be like, hey, you want to hear this song I writ? And then just start singing Happy Birthday.
And he was adamant about the part where he said writ.
Yeah, instead of wrote. He didn't conjugate it correctly. Yeah. And I had to tell, I was like, Leo, Nico just proposed quite possibly the worst idea he's ever given me. We're going to make him do it to a girl and we're going to film it.
And it was amazing. I don't even know if we should give out the reaction that the girl had.
We should have made him get out of a car and do it more properly.
They still reacted so fucking awesome. It was great. But yeah.
So, and then after that, Leo went to go hang out with his girlfriend. The two of them are back together. She lives in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
The chick I see, she's in Santa Barbara too. I hung out with her. But the interesting part of the night was I brought in tow Fanjerry and Neeks to party with me.
To like sorority, like basically a sorority party.
To sorority party, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
And who I've grown up with hanging out are dudes who are, we'll say they're a little more adept with women than Nico and Fanjerry. That's when I was in college and post-college, because that's who you tend to gravitate towards. If you're going out and hunting pussy, you tend to be friends with guys who are also going out and hunting pussy too. Yeah. And if you're not all on the same sort of level, then the drunken trips to Vegas, the fucked up weekends in Tahoe, they start to fall apart.
I don't mind when I'm taking. I don't mind because I like taking that coaching role, you know, and I can go out with dudes like that and watch them as a guinea pig all night, and that's funny to me, like a lab rat, like you know. But otherwise, yeah, man, it's tough. You get cock blocked by a dude a lot when you're like. If you're single and looking to get some tail and you got a dude that's like not really good with girls, you're getting cock blocked all night.
And that wasn't because luckily the girl that I see and her friends are fans of the channel. So I told Nico and Fanjerry, if you guys fuck this up, you don't deserve to have a penis. I'm gonna fucking apply some industrial tape to that thing and rip it right off.
It's so funny.
But when we did get there, well, Nico's got a girlfriend, so he wasn't really trying that hard. Mm-hmm. But Fanjerry was doing a ton of coke and. He was, to be fair, hitting on a really hot chick. Yeah. And he wasn't quite able to seal the deal. Fanjerry wasn't able to.
You know what, man? I think he's going to get back on the program and stop doing the drugs and alcohol and maybe lose some weight.
You know what? I endorsed his cocaine use that night.
Well, you know what? Good for him that night. He can have 3 nights a year. I'd say he could binge on a little cocaine. Other than that, I don't think he should be.
You're giving him a 3-day allowance, 3-night allowance,
3 nights a year.
Am I incorrect in saying that? You give me an open tab at a bar, and you give me a nice thick baggie of cocaine, I can seduce basically any woman on the planet. If you give me those two things, and I got a girl, but she comes in with me.
Yeah.
She's already there with me.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the cocaine might throw off some nice girl.
A random girl.
Yeah, a random girl.
But if I'm able to go to the bathroom and keep myself sharp and keep that tongue moving true, and I got all the booze I want to quell those nerves that are vibrating negative and making sure I got a lot of confidence, I'm going to be able to seduce 90% of the women I take out. Nice. And that's why I wanted Fanjerry. I was like, yeah, do a line, because he was hanging out with this girl that's really good friends with the chick I hook up with. And, I mean, both chicks are super hot. And clearly this girl was way out of Fanjerry's league. So, and I was fingers crossed, because my girl and I were off hooking up in another room of the house, and Fanjerry and her were out in the living room, Fanjerry and his woman. And I texted Leah at one point. I was like, hey, dude, I think Fanjerry's going to fucking seal the deal with this chick.
You used the term, you said it's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing. Sorry, Fanjerry. And then eventually I got a text, like, we got a text from the girl like, hey, I'm tired. Can Danny take his friends home?
I got you.
And so my woman and I had to round up the crew and go back to her place. Nice. But
where did they sleep, on that couch?
Yeah, Fanjerry slept on the couch.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
In the end, yeah.
Yeah, that house we slept at, it's called Slut Castle, and it's got 9 chicks in it. And we were meeting some of them while you were there too. While we were getting ready, I was uploading the footage to my computer before we went out for the night. Just a bunch of blonde girls who have the not the hygiene habits, but their house is. I thought my house was bad and unclean.
Bad, right.
Their house is disgusting. I saw a 3-day-old bowl of cornflakes out on the fucking table.
Yeah, they're real dirty college girls.
And these chicks, like, once we got there, and Fanjerry came with a handle, they were all getting ready for the night, and they were all coming out just taking pulls without even really asking. Yeah, just taking handle pulls to their face.
Right. It's scary. That place is scary.
It was like deer to a salt lick out in the field.
Yeah, dude, that place is fucking scary, man.
And it was Saturday, which means I know they'd already gotten blacked out Thursday and Friday.
Oh, for sure.
And here they were still doing this. And
scary place, man.
It's a scary place. It is. Yeah. It is nice. It was nice to go up there and have a couple drinks and let loose after.
It's beautiful. It's an interesting place. I feel like if I really did spend 4 years there, I probably would be real tired of it. But to go every now and then, short bursts, man. It's really cool. You know, I like the energy there, man. There's a lot of energy. I mean, a lot of not healthy, but it's intense energy.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, it'll fucking punch you in the liver, kick me in the leg energy, too.
Yeah, that too.
If you tell the wrong kind of joke.
Yeah, super liberal.
Yeah, I don't even want to call those people liberal.
No, it's past liberal.
And I've talked to Ben about this, because if you're a level-headed, mature liberal
you're not going to
I agree with you on most fucking issues.
Bill Maher would have laughed at your joke.
I love Bill Maher. I think Bill Maher's a fucking badass.
I love Bill Maher, too.
He's a slime ball. He's a greasy dog.
Yeah, I love Bill Maher.
It's the reason I tend to, like, right now, if there were a civil war, I'd go join the conservative side, just because my single biggest issue is censorship and political correctness. And who's against that right now? Right now, it's the conservatives. In the 90s, the conservatives were for censorship and not political correctness, but if anything was offensive, they wanted it off their airwaves and off their TV screen.
Yeah.
Now things have changed, so the opportune party for me is the conservatives. But I probably have more in common with liberals as far as my political ideology.
I'd say same.
But right now, a lot of them are giving the rest of the reasonable liberals a bad name.
Oh, yeah.
Those kids at Santa Barbara that were punching us, were calling us ugly fucks,
they're the reason why.
Calling for our death, they're the people who give the left a bad fucking
name. Yeah.
The people like Antifa fucking macing people just because they're white.
Yeah, that's not okay, man.
So yeah, I mean, it's Santa Barbara. It's like those people don't even have well-formed political opinions. They go get brainwashed by some dyke with a hairy vagina in their fucking women's studies class.
You nailed it.
And then they want to take a nail gun to anybody with a penis.
My girlfriend literally told me she's got a dyke in a women's studies class today. First day of school.
Yeah.
I mean, first day of that class,
Yeah, it's a shitty time, man. Right now is a shitty time. Because, like, when I was at UCLA, and I've talked about this a lot, there were no mention of politics. Nobody talked about
politics.
There was the one girl who was known as the Democratic Socialist who I would, like, tell Mexican jokes to just to make her like, that's inappropriate on Thursday nights.
There was no
that
talk
was
about no politics. Yeah, there was none.
It sucked. Yeah, and I would take fucking, like, I took, like, African American history, South American history. I took Marxist theory, like very liberal classes.
But they're supposed to
no brainwashing. They were just
supposed to all be neutral, right?
They were.
You form your own fucking opinion.
That's
how you do it.
Yeah, they absolutely were. I had I had a South American history class, and it was during the Joseph Kony thing going on. I don't know if you remember that, but like a bunch of like social justice warrior leftists were like, we need to depose Joseph Kony. He's in Africa recruiting child soldiers. I had a professor conservative enough to be like, no, we can't just do this. Look what happened in South America. You get rid of one dictator, another one takes over. We can't do it. So but now I feel like who fucking knows what would happen if you walked into one of those classes on UCLA's campus.
Dude. It would be. I'd like to know what's going on at UCLA too, but UCSB is specifically very heavy on that kind of the liberal agenda, the far whatever liberal.
What if we end this with a little story?
I'd love a story.
Okay.
You have a story?
Yeah. Let's keep it. We'll make them micro stories.
All right.
3 minutes each.
All right. What is the
first
topic?
blowjob? Well, you didn't really tell me about your first blowjob, and I'll tell you about mine.
Sure.
Okay, go.
I was 15, and it was a girl. She was Dominican.
It was a girl.
It was a girl.
You don't say.
She gave me a blowjob. Yeah.
Wow.
What, Danny? You don't know if I experimented with men when I was 15?
I assume so. In fact.
Really, you assume so?
Assume so.
Anyway,
look at your fucking outfit right now. You look like a gay man.
Danny, you know I look fantastic.
You look pretty good.
Thanks, buddy. So she was 15. I was 15. She was in my class. I had probably tried to convince her for at least a semester, and then it was another semester now, and she wasn't in my biology class anymore. So I saw her in the hall one day, and I said, hey, we kind of caught up, and I said, hey, you ever thought about like doing that again? She's like, oh yeah, I totally do want to do that now. And I was like, really?
Wait.
Is that right?
I'm imagining this play out like some family comedy on a network television show.
It's kind of like I got wide-eyed, like, oh, so do you really want to? Oh, really? And I got kind of nervous. I was like, oh, I hope I get hard.
No, I'm just thinking like you're just like, hey, Rachel, I haven't seen you since last semester.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, Leo, I've been really busy with lacrosse practice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So listen, Rachel, have you ever
Right.
thought about sucking my dick
again?
again?
Yeah.
That's how I'm seeing it play out.
Yeah, it was pretty much just like that. I was already on varsity baseball team. I was probably the best baseball player in the school already. And so I kind of was just like, hey, maybe we could do that again sometime. So she said, yeah. So we had Tuesdays we would have an early baseball practice, and my parents would come pick me up late. So on a Tuesday, I had like a couple hours after baseball practice to, I hadn't showered at all. There was nobody used the locker room showers or anything. So I took her behind the bungalows, which were in the back of the school, because it was like the school was like all buildings, and then they added bungalows when class sizes got so big.
Bungalow's a portable, right?
It's a portable,
portable classroom.
It's a portable classroom
with
so
the
they
ramp,
added
the
that,
shitty little
with
ramp.
The shitty ramp.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Everybody's got bungalows at their school.
Everybody, yeah, isn't that gnarly? So
it's not that gnarly.
It's kind of gnarly.
It's efficient.
It is very efficient, yeah. They were cool.
It's not gnarly at all.
They've been, there's the bungalows at Grant have been there at least 30, 40 years.
Let's get back to the blowjob.
So I took her behind the old, one of the old bungalows. All right, I made sure nobody was around, and I took my cock out, and I thought for a second I wasn't gonna be able to get, I thought for maybe I was like too nervous to get hard, but then the wind hit it, and I was, I was 15 and going through puberty, so I got hard immediately, and then she got on her knees on the hard pavement there, and she gave me a blowjob.
How long did you last?
I'd say she wasn't too good. I mean, her form wasn't, obviously. She didn't know what she was doing too much, but it was fun. To me, it was amazing, and it might have been 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Max, yeah.
Yeah, the real differentiator between a girl who knows what she's doing and doesn't know what she's doing, it can be described in one word: friction. If there's no friction or no contact that you can feel on the penis, when it just feels like your dick is floating around in an outer space of mouth tissue.
The underside of the underside specifically, yeah.
Yeah, when a girl knows how to use her tongue and use her lips to create friction around the dick, I'm not talking about teeth. I'm not talking about hands without lube. There needs to be sensation from the mouth. Yeah, it feels like you're poking your dick into a Halloween pumpkin when the girl doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And it's just floating around a big open mouth. That's
I
how
feel
I
like
predict.
you've done that. Is it from experience, maybe?
From sucking dick?
No. Have you put in your cock?
Well, no, I learned that from hard labor sucking dick.
You fucked a pumpkin?
Yeah, I used to go to Santa Monica Boulevard, dude. Dude,
my girlfriend did tell me that.
There's
She's
only
like,
one way
Danny
to-
told me he sucked dick. I was like, he's kidding, obviously.
Did I tell her I sucked
don't know.
dick?
You did, apparently.
I have sucked dick.
Jesus,
I've
when
never
was
sucked
this,
dick.
bro?
I don't remember.
That's story time. Go ahead.
I just black out when I'm talking to people. I do not remember telling her that at all. I just say shit.
I was like, no, he didn't. And she's like, yeah, I think he was really serious.
My career is going to be doomed. I'm going to tell like a Pollock joke or a fucking, just an incredibly racist joke on live television one day. And just
I know I'm going to go on 2020 and have to explain, like, listen, he's joking, man. He was fucking guy's joking.
Yeah, no, I didn't suck a guy's dick. My blowjob story, though, it was...
First one?
Yeah, and it was, I kid you not, it must have not been more than 2 weeks after I had my first wet orgasm.
Okay.
So thank God. If it would have happened...
You had something to give her, you know?
Yeah, and so I had something to give her, and presumably my cock had finished growing at that point.
Nice.
Because, I wish now I'd measured my cock every week for the 2 years preceding and following puberty to see what the actual growth was like. But I think I was... peak size, full Danny Mullen then. And we were out swimming in Rancho Marietta, California, which is a little white trash community in the orbit of Sacramento. It was with my buddy who turned out to be gay as shit. He was there. And then this chick who was the local whore. You know, those in communities that are far away from the city, that are just out in the outskirts, girls are so bored, they turn to sucking cock.
Sexual experimentation, yes. You don't have to say specifically sucking cock, but yeah.
It's dangerous. It's if you're right in the city center, they're going to start doing crack and sucking cock. But if you're way out in the boondocks, they're going to start doing crack and sucking cock.
Yeah, true.
So you want to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
You want to be in a nice suburb where all the houses look the same and there's a golf course nearby.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be to keep your daughter from sucking cock.
Absolutely.
We were out at some shiesty lake. We probably got some kind of something in your head, some parasite that's still fucking with my mind to this day. Jesus. There's probably raw sewage in that shit. This girl, she swims up to me. Somebody makes a joke about a hand job. She starts jerking me off underwater.
She does?
And yeah, this is the first girl I've ever hooked up with, so
Jesus.
I'm real excited.
Yeah.
We get back to the house. It's me, her, and the gay guy. It wasn't gay yet. Well, he was gay, but he wasn't out of the closet, you know. It wasn't like he was just fucking tons of chicks, then got in a car accident and woke up gay.
Okay.
He was gay then, too, just not out of the closet.
Right.
So we go back, and we were obsessed with the Eiffel Tower at that point. We talked about it all the time. This is before I lost my virginity in the actual Eiffel Tower. But we were like, hey, can we Eiffel Tower you in my buddy's bedroom? His parents are out of town. Like, it'll be cool. She said, no, I don't want to have sex. And I was like, what if we do it with hand jobs? You give us both a hand job at the same time. She's like, yeah, I could be down for that.
Oh my God.
So this was a shrewd move.
You're just nuts, bro. This was you at 15?
This is me at 15.
God,
this was a shrewd move, and I was still driving my mom's minivan.
Nuts.
But and I had I had the instincts too. When I let her into the bathroom, I slammed the door so my gay buddy couldn't get in.
Nice.
I think like the night before, him and I jerked off to a porn together. So
he got his. Then he got his. You got him off. So
yeah,
you're good.
I can't totally claim him and I never did anything that was borderline gay.
Yeah,
we would jerk off in the same room all the time.
He loved that.
He probably did.
He loved that. Of course.
He's obsessed with you. He's asked about you a bunch of times.
Really?
And now he's obviously openly gay.
Yeah.
But so she started jerking me off. I talked her into sucking me off, and it was the same thing. It was like putting my dick in the mouth hole of a Halloween jack-o'-lantern.
Still felt good,
just
though, right?
Open space, just barely any. It felt moist, but moisture. I mean, if I want moisture on my penis, I'll put a fucking Lysol wipe right over the top and just walk around with it. It doesn't do anything. Yeah. So eventually, but at that point, you got such a hair trigger that I think after about maybe 4 minutes, I think I lasted longer than you, Leo.
Nice, bud.
I came.
Wow. And did you ever talk to her? Did you ever do it again?
She didn't swallow.
She didn't swallow.
She pulled her head away and started just jerking me off. But the first blowjob, and you're a changed man after that.
Yeah, you are now an adult. I stopped thinking about my action figures immediately.
Yeah, you do. And what I think Leo and I were having this conversation recently. Once you get that first blowjob, that first hand job, all you can think about is
when's the next one? Man?
When's the next party? How can I get laid at that party? Can I take this a step further? Can I fuck not just this sketchy girl who lives in the boondocks? Can I fuck maybe a girl on the cheerleading team?
Yeah.
Better, can I fuck the head cheerleader?
Yeah.
That becomes what you live for.
What you live for, yeah.
And the sad thing is, not too much has changed. I love comedy. Comedy writing is great, but I still think about before I go to bed or when I first wake up in the morning and I got a boner. You're thinking about going out and fucking like, oh, it'd be sick to get a really hot girl to Palm Springs and have her for the weekend and fuck her. When you walking down, I was walking down Melrose today on the way to the fucking improv classes. You see an Asian girl walking by with an ass that gets you going.
But you need an Asian girl immediately. Not to like hook up. You need to hook up with an Asian girl, not to date.
That chick, chick I see in Santa Barbara is quarter Asian. That's good enough.
Really?
Yeah, that's my whistle.
Very nice.
But yeah, that's right. I can't be accused of being a racist. I'm hooking up with a quarter Asian girl.
Nice.
That's my Robin Quivers. That's what Howard Stern did, having a black woman as his co-host. But I was telling Leo, I think I was telling you this, Leo. There were recently leaked photos of Donald Sterling, the disgraced Clippers owner, walking around Beverly Hills hand in hand with a bimbo, fake tits, plastic surgery face, fake ass, and he's dressed like a homosexual. There's no other way to put it. He's wearing like a $5,000 jacket, a pair of glasses that are this big.
Oh God!
And like just huge Dolce & Gabbana logos on the side.
You see yourself like that?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. This guy's 85 fucking years old, and he's still out there hunting poon. And maybe, hopefully, what I tell myself to make myself feel better and to not fear a future where I'm still chasing pussy in the retirement home is hopefully he was repressed his whole life growing up, and he was faithful to his wife, and he was in a terrible marriage, and then once he became a billionaire and he was disgraced, then he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to start going nuts.
Yeah.
But I think this guy's just been a dog his whole life, and it scares me that I'm going to be a dog my whole life too.
Well, there are worse things
than being a dog.
You could be an axe murderer.
You could be an axe murderer, but when you get to a certain point, girls are only in it for your money.
Well, you don't know that, man. I think I think a man, if he takes good care of himself, can stay pretty goddamn attractive into
85.
Not 85, but you could stay attractive till you're about 60. After that, I saw a play. It was called Skin Tight, and it was about a 70-year-old man who was presumably a billionaire, the guy that he was a clothing company guy, and he was dating a 20-year-old, and his daughter came around and was shunning him.
Wait, how old is the billionaire?
70.
70.
Yeah, in a play. It's called Skin Tight. Really good. And Idina Menzel.
Wait, is this fiction?
It's what do you mean?
If it's fiction, it doesn't matter. Did this really happen?
I think it's based on a true figure. I believe the guy.
I'll let you carry on.
Like a gay. The guy was a homosexual clothing designer, and he was super rich, and he had a 20-year-old really good-looking dude as his, and he was fucking shirtless the entire time.
Like Liberace?
Yeah,
that's what he did too.
Exactly, like Liberace, exactly. So this guy, this entire play, he's taking all this abuse from his daughter about how marrying this 20-year-old kid is so disgusting and blah, 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 and how could you do that to mom and this and that, because he was straight, and then he came out of the closet and all this shit happened. So at the end, he has this crazy monologue about how he doesn't give a fuck that the kid wants to marry him for his money because at the end of the day, he's gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
And he wants to wake up next to that beautiful man every day because it makes him feel good, and he doesn't really give a fuck how it makes her feel.
Hey,
and I was the only one that fucking clapped.
Hey, and here's a controversial take right here. Is going for somebody for their looks and appearance more noble than going at them for their money? I say no.
I don't
because
know,
your
yeah.
looks, you got to stay in shape and generally eat well to maintain them. Looks are basically genetic, baby.
It's genetic, man.
So if you're going after somebody like, oh yeah, he's handsome and he's my age, that's just a fact of opportunity there.
That's right.
Whereas a guy who's fucking rich, a guy who's a billionaire like Donald Sterling, I don't care about the guy's character. The guy worked hard for that money.
Fucking worked hard.
The guy who's this fashion designer worked really, and I'm starting to see that now as a YouTuber, seeing what it's actually taken to get this minimal amount of success. It's taken the better part of a decade, and again, putting in law firm style hours.
Yep.
Maybe it's more noble to go for a guy who's in his fucking 80s and a billionaire, or maybe that's a more legitimate reason to go for somebody than it is to go for the 25-year-old hunk who models for Abercrombie and Fitch.
There you go, man.
I think the older guy's got more to fucking offer. He knows a lot more about life.
He knows a lot. He's full of wisdom. Maybe he has a huge cock.
Maybe he has a huge cock.
Apparently, in the play, it was rumored that he called him Donkey Dick. The young kid would call him Donkey Dick.
That makes me take it a little less seriously.
But still,
he probably paid the kid to start saying that and spread that rumor.
Yeah, there we go. But it was, dude, the play was phenomenal, man. You should go see it.
Yeah, and I talked to the girl I see in Santa Barbara. I talked to her. I was like, would you fuck Paul McCartney? Would you fuck Mick Jagger? She's like, yep, I'd fuck both of them. I mean, to be granted, they're cultural icons and fucking
come on, Danny,
musical heroes. But you know what? And she tells me about her friends, and I'm sure your girlfriend has lots of friends who have sugar daddies.
Oh, yeah.
And they report back, I just hang out with him. We go to dinner, and he pays me money. Those bitches are sucking those guys.
They're
dicks
sucking
on
the
down
dick,
low.
yeah.
And maybe they love it. I mean, maybe they're fucking. Maybe the money is enough to make them physically attracted to the guy.
Yeah, I know. One of my girlfriend's friends said she threw up on a dick, that she was an old man dick. So who knows? Maybe
there's an old geriatric dude in my fucking my improv class, and he always talks about when he used to live in New York City and he was fucking all the chicks, and he always like leers creepily and basically drools at other girls in our improv class.
The worst.
He makes everybody really uncomfortable. I think he's got a lot of money too.
Oh wow.
He's so. His memory in his head is so not there. He alternately wears a toupee and doesn't wear a toupee to class, and I think he forgets that he's not wearing it.
What? Dude,
so
that's funny.
So it's just the illusion of hair is obviously completely shattered because he comes in the next day and it's gone.
Does that guy yes and
he's
real
terrible?
Terrible, yeah.
Dude, today he got up first. It was a 2-person scene, and you just go up whenever you want. Nobody else got up, so I had to go up and improv with the dude. And of course, the scene was a complete disaster.
Do you make people laugh in the class?
Oh yeah, I slay it.
You slay it?
It's me and 2 chicks are the
Better
best.
go. Dude,
Yeah, it's me and 2. There's 2 really talented
Listen,
girls.
if you're fucking
actually
lying
in there.
about you not having a show, and I swear to God, and you don't tell me about it.
We don't have a show. I'm gonna stick with it though. Like I'm into improv. I'm gonna keep doing it. It's big. Yeah, and I've got some ideas.
Dude, fuck you, man. I might have to get in an improv class then.
It's great. Yeah. We'll talk more about stand up and my plans for stand up. I've been thinking a little more. But all right, guys. I think it's been a good show. Thank you. I was feeling like shit today. I almost called this off. I almost canceled this. Yeah, because I was this close to driving back up to Sacramento, telling fucking producer Ben and Noah, my other roommate, to find the new roommate. Yeah. And I was going to live with my parents, work at the Papa John's right down the street, and then just collect their whatever money they give me when they die.
We're gonna get a something going every week besides this podcast. Maybe like something to make money between us both that could help us both.
To sucking dick on Santa Monica?
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after the camera goes.
Fill in a room with people that want to see us.
Oh yeah, live shows for sure, man.
Live show, live podcast.
All right, boys and girls and 40 and 50-year-olds. Later, guys.
Comment if you're 40 and 50.
Thank you guys for watching. Bye.